13th of November 2023. This news flash, I'm going to talk about the Ukraine debacle. Let me call it a debacle and be nice instead of calling it a fuck up, for that is what it is. Okay, calm down. I find this tweet on my timeline this morning from Ray J. Politics. I like this guy and he gives very good analysis. Listen to this. Why won't anyone say the obvious out loud? Ukraine and its 50 plus allies are defeated. As predicted by me and many others of similar thought, this entire Ukrainian conflict has been a massive waste of lives, money and time. More and more stories of peace deals are being leaked into the media to soften the blow of absolute defeat for the indoctrinated Nazi Ukraine supporters. Now the mini Führer is sulking around saying that he's being abandoned and his Nazi dictatorship is on the verge of capitulation. This is what happens when Western nations allow psychopaths who grew up in their basements playing video games most of their lives to be in charge of their foreign policy. There's not one diplomat in the NATO alliance worth a plug nickel. He doesn't pull punches, and what he says is true. That is the truth, that's the reality. And those people that swore their allegiance to Ukraine, and my Nazi stalker that declared his undying admiration for that coke-sniffing fucker sitting there in Kiev. They were unwilling to look at the facts and the reality. They followed the narrative. They are doing exactly the same shit now in Israel. Same thing. I won't be surprised in a broad base, and I'm talking now about South Africa, the same crew that so fondly followed Zelensky are the same, are the ones that are following Netanyahu there in Tel Aviv. And most probably the same guys that got that. In any case, let's continue. The horrendous cost of the US proxy war in Ukraine. 500,000 plus dead Ukrainians and foreign mercenaries, probably twice that number in casualties. Possibly 80 to 100,000 dead Russians and their mercenaries, probably twice that number in casualties. 9,000 to 11,000 dead Ukrainian civilians, probably twice that number in casualties. 35 to 40% of Ukraine's population lost to immigration. Half of Ukraine's infrastructure destroyed. 20 to 25% of Ukrainian territory lost to Russia. Over 200 billion US dollars and euros wasted. Half of it probably on corruption. A more economical independent Russia, who is now joined at the hip with China and Iran. A world divided into two camps, the West versus the global South with its northern allies. A weakened and gutted out collective European economy and industrial base. An American economy being kept on life support by constant borrowing and parasitic policies of its own European allies, and Ukraine still will not be allowed to join NATO. Now, if you look through all those points, you have to shake your head, because common sense was not in the room. That whole Ukraine fiasco, and I'm still wondering exactly what is in the Ukraine that the warmongers in the Shitehouse were so desperate to protect? You must ask yourself that question. Yes, we've got hints, the biolabs and the associated shit with that, the human trafficking, including children, the organ harvesting, the adrenochrome stories, weapons smuggling, drug testing, all of those things gives you hints of what was going on there. But I'm still not convinced that that is all of it. Because why would the Shitehouse be willing to pump 140 billion US dollars in there? But we know, as he says here, more than half of that is lost to corruption in any case. The Biden regime, a menagerie of fuck-ups. The Biden regime has fucked up everything. I mean everything that it has ever touched. The Ukrainian proxy war is just another American fuck-up that will go quietly into the night while the US Shitestream Media keeps the American population focused on its next fuck-up in the Middle East. Then after the Middle East, it will be Taiwan. Eventually, the US government will bankrupt America with its endless foreign wars and out-of-control spending. You Ukraine hip-huggers must feel pretty damn stupid at this point. That's all. Now, if you are a Ukraine hugger, I suggest you listen to this again, stop the video and read the text. And maybe you wake up. But I doubt it. There's no logics, no sanity, no common sense when you support a Nazi regime or a Zionist regime. All of that, both those regimes are poison to people. Please give me a like and a subscribe and share the thing. Thank you for your support.